Yo. So, storm's coming in from this way. Get my water bottle and go to the street. This is recording more towards that direction. I'll just take the bottle with me. There we go. So, I've been doing these kind of like an experiment, like a science experiment. And, you know, my observation was that I was recording these storms. You know, I feel connected to a lot of things, but I was recording a storm, like when it really came to me, like, well, why don't I try to test this out and see if I can science this out, use a scientific procedure, was when I was recording a storm. I believe it was the 9/21, sometime in September, probably, 2021. It's their huge, like, AM lightning storm where it's like there's just crazy lightning. And I might have had thoughts prior to that, or I definitely had certain ideas as far as what was going on with the lightning, but I noticed, like, I went to stretch because obviously, like, I have this ongoing issue with the right side of my body and my right leg, and I went to stretch the thing on my right leg, and when I got really, like, into it, like into the stretch, I noticed that, like, the pinnacle of the stretch, or of the, like, me pressing down and, like, trying to, I don't know, just get some comfort because it's very uncomfortable. I noticed there was, like, a strong lightning right at that moment. And so I even believe I bring it up in that storm, and it's, again, like, AM lightning storm. It's on my channel from a while back, and there's, like, different colors of lightning and stuff, but I think it's September of 2021. And I do believe that prior to that I had some idea that something was going on, but that was like when I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the right side of my body. And I still don't exactly know where the lightning is going to be most prevalent, like where to view. So we're just going to kind of do this as it goes along, and I'll adjust. But so I started, especially more recently, so you can see the observation was that, like, right side of my body seems to be when I do this stretch, I noticed multiple times what I was talking about. One time it was really prevalent and it caught my attention to the degree where I was like, let me make this into an actual experiment. And now that I have multiple angles, I can do a good job at capturing it. Because sometimes just this view alone is not going to be enough to capture exactly what's going on. So, as I've said, I even said previously, I think in a video, where it's like, you know, the GoPro view is like any other person watching the storm, right? If you're at your house and you're looking out the window, or you could see a lot, you know what I mean? It gives you a good super view, like wide angle. You can see a lot of what's going on. And then this gives you like my narrative viewpoint. So this view, this iPhone view, is like the view most connected to me. So, and then also the OBS view, the view I record on my computer. Generally, you can see what I'm doing from those views. So I'll give you an example. Or, you know, if it's this view is sitting at my window and you see what I do on the OBS view. So, but this is the more narrative view. So, science experiment, observation was that doing this stretch I do a lot on the right side of my body, or not even just stretching, but like exerting through the right side of my body with some kind of force, it leads to some kind of lightning response. And my thought at the time was that it was related to I mean, I can give you different reasons what I think, but that it's related to the right side of my body, and like almost like my body is some kind of electrical circuit or something, and like this thing that I have this discomfort in the right side of my body, it feels disconnected, that like forcing the connection as I just pushed down with my right leg, and you saw, I think there was a visible lightning bolt right there, that you can see like a lightning response. So hey, I guess that's where we're going to be looking for now. So hypothesis is what I just laid out, that something to do with the right side of my body and exerting out leads to a lightning response. Observation, like testing, is what I'm doing now by recording multiple angles and then also recording myself. And, you know, I think if you are as far as results go, right now I'm pretty sure I could get some kind of AI to like review and give an unbiased opinion as far as what it thinks, like, you know, like what's the probability that this person is connected to the lightning? And I believe an unbiased AI that was actually looking at the data, and I wouldn't trust another person to do this, just because, you know, I think people try to do everything they can to minimize other people unless they see some kind of strategic advantage to it or something personal to them. And so I don't trust people to like verify what I'm saying. So, you know, I'll judge by myself. I'll make my own conclusions. But I would say, hey, there's some nice lightning. I would say that probably an AI could also give you as long as the AI wasn't taught to have biases, I think that it could also give you a pretty reasonable conclusion as far as, you know, the number of times I do something and you see a lightning and it seems to be in relation to the thing that I'm saying. I think it would be able to verify that or not. and then at least statistically. And then the reasoning as to why. So, like, my first and foremost reason, I think, is that the Bible, which is something I very much believe in, is, like, I believe it's real, ends with the book of Revelation. And the book of Revelation begins with the first 3 chapters of that book. The first chapter is an introduction, and it lays out what's going on. It's the one like a son of man, who is Jesus, who is Yahweh, the Alpha and the Omega, is seen by John, who sees him like amongst some golden lampstands, and he sees him, like, the best way I can describe it, he's like a superhero, like a Dragon Ball Z, like a guy who's gone Super Saiyan or something like that, as far as our modern day terminology. That's a pretty strong oh, did I catch it? There's a really vivid lightning right in the middle. So, also, if you notice, when characters in Dragon Ball Z or whatever go Super Saiyan, they seem to have lightning around them a lot of the time. And we'll get a little more into that, but it's also based on the Monkey King, which I generally think is just the story of Yahweh going as far east like in a game of telephone, and eventually by the time he's to the east, he's a monkey. But they have so many characteristics which are similar, like riding around on a nimbus cloud and having an iron rod. And as far as Dragon Ball is concerned, even the character in Revelation that is clearly Jesus at the beginning is holding 7 stars in his right hand. And he stands amongst 7 lampstands, which are representative of churches. He then tells John to write messages to these churches. These churches don't exist anymore, and like, they are clearly something symbolic, as is stated, in chapter 1 at the end, when he goes, this is what the 7 stars mean in my right hand, and this is what the 7 lampstands are. The 7 stars are this, and the 7 lampstands are that. So they're clearly a spiritual / symbolic thing. And my belief is the 7 churches are a coded message to someone in the future, that if you do the things that's written to these churches, if you complete these if-then conditional statements written to these 7 churches, that you get these prizes. And these prizes range from, the first one's eat from the tree of life, the next one's, church number 2 is the crown of life, and to not be hurt by the second death. So within the first 2, your eat from the tree of life is immortality. Not be hurt by the second death is Yahweh's not going to throw you into the burning lake. Third one is you get a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who meets the conditions and is victorious, and fed with the hidden manna. And the thing with the stone with a new name written on it that only the person who receives it knows. Okay, Jesus is the stone, or Yahweh, Jesus, is the stone that the builders refused. And I think he's saying he'll put himself in your hand and give you his name, which it seems to be, it seems like he's suggesting it's also your name. But the only other instance in the Bible where there's a name known only to someone else that I can think of is Revelation 19, when the Word of God appears, who most Christians will say is Jesus. He has a name written on him only he knows. Well, I think that's probably the same name that's in the right hand of the person who receives the gift or the prize of the third church. Fourth church is after dealing with Jezebel, you get the iron rod and the morning star. The iron rod is also something only the Son of God and the Messiah have. So the anointed of Yahweh from Psalm 2. And the fifth church, white robes and not have your name blotted out of the book of life. The sixth church, I'll make you a pillar in the temple of my God, and write the name of my Father, Yahweh. The name of the New Jerusalem, I think, is Yahweh Sidkenu or Yahweh Shema, one of the two. But Ezekiel 48:35, I don't exactly know where that was, but as far as the lightning is concerned, but I'll just try to keep an eye out. And then I'll write my own new name as well, so it seems to be Jesus is saying he's Yahweh, which makes sense just textually. And then the seventh church, I'll grant you to sit with me on my throne as I sat down with my Father on his throne. So I don't hear anybody else saying it like it obviously is. You had to be like willingly denying what it says in the text to, like, even the sixth church says hold on to the prize, the prize to your crown, your Stephanos. That's the thing given at the second church. So it's obviously a series of gifts, and it's for some one person to realize, oh, this is a coded message. It's not even that coded, but this is a message that whoever meets these conditions gets these gifts. Okay, so that's why I think. And then as far as other things go, I also think there's just spiritual understandings and metaphysical realities that science hasn't quite engaged yet, but maybe a more advanced form of science can and will. Maybe I can even help with that, but I think that that's why. And also, like I'm saying, I think there could be some other, just like in Dragon Ball Z, how there are characters that seem to have learned the ability to harness certain energies that people have. I could be just someone like that. In fact, my parents did name me Yoda, so if there's going to be anybody strong with the Force, yo, duh. Also, the name Yahweh, Yah can also be pronounced Yo. It's at the beginning of any theophanic name with Yahweh in it. It should begin with Yo. Not Yeho, but Yo. Okay, yeah. So I think that should be a good explanation. We'll see what happens in this storm. See if I can do some lightning stuff. Just give me a moment and I'll get in front of the camera and do some stretching. So. Also, if I was not clear, the gift that I'm saying that I think leads to the lightning stuff would be I grant you to sit with me on my throne. That would be one that is like Yahweh has control over everything. So if you're sitting with him on the throne and you have his name on you and his authority, you should be able to do lightning stuff too. So, or I should. And, I can't say that nobody else might be able to conquer the 7 churches, but I can say that that's my belief and that's what I'm working on. And if you believe it, it only empowers what I believe, because I clearly am going through it. I also don't think I have to be doing particularly anything. I think it also seems to react to my voice. Like, there is a clear interaction that goes on in these videos. I think it's more me interacting with Yahweh, and then Yahweh controls everything, right? But I still believe there's definite interaction, you know? I also want to reiterate, I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm not saying I'm not making those claims. But I am saying pretty clearly, I think there's a set of challenges at the end of the Bible, and like no explanation that I've heard dispels or even argues well against that point. And very clearly, the person who is just a person that would do that would, you know, have authority and supernatural authority. That seems very, like, evident to me. Being that even characters like Moses, Elijah, name a prophet, you know, characters from the New Testament, Paul, whomever else seems to, just with a share of the Spirit, be able to do supernatural things, you know. So I don't think this is that hard for Yahweh to do at all, honestly. Alright, so maybe these are getting closer? Lots of cars here. So it's starting to be like they're like right up there. Oh man, I should have recorded, like, I think you could see that pretty visible lightning bolt. I was like flexing on my right quad and like digging in with my, here. Like digging in with my right toes. I'm gonna start walking back because it's like actually raining now. You know, for a while, like for the first bit, you can start to see it moving in, and then there's really not any rain directly overhead, and then it starts happening. But I can also say this: my like theory and hypothesis on this as to what's happening and why it's happening. Woo! Hopefully you can see that. It's one of these things that's like, well, this shouldn't bother, like, if I'm just a guy and there's nothing, like, I think this character is just a guy who, like, gets to be on the throne of Yahweh. Well, on Jesus' throne with him, and that's the throne of Yahweh. Woo! So, I mean, I'll take that. But if that's not what it is, well then whatever. I'm just like, this is just an experiment. And like I mean, it, you know, all I'm really doing is still trying to get my leg better. So whew. I'm gonna adjust the GoPro camera so that it has a better angle, and then go up to the room and start. Recording from there. Oh, hold on, I can't tap the screen. I have just give me one moment. Okay. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, well, I think, well, it's the truth, but I hope y'all are doing well. Picking your friends. I hope y'all pick your friends and pick your nose. Because some of them are boogers.
All right. I can't get this to focus. Oh, come on. It literally isn't focusing. Okay, but nothing is that close anymore. Like, my hand is perfectly fine in view, but now that I'm trying to, like, view something far away, it's not focusing. Okay, new video.